I was curious to understand if smart contracts could replace the need for three-way matching. And if you have no idea what I've just said, hey, that's cool. We're going to cover all of that right now, my friends. So procurement's always been quite a difficult process, and it gets a lot of flack, a lot of bad reputation for being slow and arduous to deal with. But there's another part of the process. So once all the contracts are signed, the purchase order's been released, and the goods have been delivered or the services have been delivered, the supplier will typically invoice you. And when that happens, your accounts payable team, which typically may reside in finance or procurement, or you may just have like a finance controller or someone doing this role, they will need to match that invoice with a few criteria to ensure that they can release payment to that supplier. So typically what your accounts payable person will do is they will confirm that there was in fact a purchase order, and they should hopefully have a purchase order number somewhere, right? It depends on where they store this. It could be an Excel spreadsheet, could be in an ERP system, could be in a procurement tool. Hey, could be any one of those. They will look for some sort of receipt to ensure that the goods were received in the warehouse, if it's goods, or it may be product acceptance or acceptance notes of some kind to say, hey, yeah, we received this service from the supplier at this date in line with the contract. So there's another data source there. And then the final piece will be that supplier's invoice. Does that link to the purchase order? So does it make the correct reference? Is it for the correct amount? How do we know the correct amount? Maybe it's in the contract, maybe it's in some record somewhere. Hey, you can already see there's a few key data points here. They all have to sync up. They all have to be in the correct format. And this could literally happen thousands and thousands and thousands of times a month, depending on the size of your organization, right? So we're already in a position where we've got a really painful process internally and also for the supplier. Three-way matching is vital because it can help detect fraud. There are fraudsters out there that will send fake invoices to organizations just on the whim that they may get paid by them because they're hoping that that organization doesn't have a good three-way matching process. I mean, this just happened recently with Facebook and Google, who each paid out astronomical amounts of money to fake invoices. And these are two of the biggest companies in the world who couldn't get this right. Now, NetSuite have also highlighted that three-way matching can help root out fraud in the supply chain. And if that fraud was to occur, it could cost up to 5% of revenue per year. That's a huge amount of money for fraud, right? But hey, can we do this in a better way? Because the problem with three-way matching is the software that tries to automate it still isn't great, still requires a lot of manual interaction at some point in the process. A lot of teams are still doing this manually. Like they have one person, like that accounts payable person, who is just there matching this all day. If I was them, I wouldn't want to be doing this as a career, right? The idea is smart contracts could replace the need for three-way matching. But first, what is a smart contract? Now, a smart contract is a piece of software that is designed to be self-executing and self-serving. It sits on the blockchain. We're not talking about a traditional style written contract. We're talking about software, code that is created that says, hey, if this thing happens, release payment to this person. You can already see the benefits, right? If the supplier delivers these 100 laptops to the customer by this date, release payment of 100,000, done. And there's no need for three-way matching because as soon as those conditions are met and it's fed back through that smart contract on the blockchain, payment's released. And this could be a really fundamental shift in the way in which we have to handle this whole invoicing process. Now, there are drawbacks, right? Smart contracts cannot be changed once they have been set up. But what you could do is destroy the contract if a change was needed to be made. Use that existing code, so make sure there's a copy of it, maybe in your contract repository. And I think we're going to see developments like this where we have areas for this code and then make the changes to that piece of code, set up a new one. Now, the Law Commission in the UK has said, hey, UK laws do not need to change to deal with smart contracts. We can handle this. So it's going to be super interesting to see how this plays out in general within procurement contracts moving forwards. But for me, I'm excited. I think smart contracts could fundamentally change this three-way matching process. And I think it's just a matter of time and technology to figure this out. So if you like this video, which is a little bit more technology focused, a little bit more out there, I'm going to throw this video your way, which is a little bit more traditional, conservative, and I think you'll really like it, my friends. Catch you real soon.